Hello, my name is Etholdir and welcome back to the World Painter tutorials on my channel. The last one was a while back and today we are gonna continue, and the topic for today is rivers, lakes and basically anything with water. So just the general water stuff, if you know what I mean. Of course we already painted the lake and we did already do something with the sea. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how I usually take this, because I feel that smaller rivers are best added in game, just because you have a lot more control over them that way. So that is actually better to do with voxel or world edit, something like that. Then of course you can do bigger rivers in World Painter very easily. So if you want a really broad, wide river, then of course use World Painter for that. So yeah, what I just created is a little bit of a coast area, and you can see that in that we'll have some different areas to address. We'll have some like inner areas, outer areas, and these are areas where we could have rivers flowing to, so that they connect up with the sea, and that's usually what rivers tend to do, especially on an island of this size. So yeah, if we would have something like this, then what I usually do, if I want a bigger river, I just start drawing it until the point where I want to have it smaller. So for instance, if I would want the river to end up here, I would start painting in the river from there. Let's zoom in a little bit on the map so that we can see what we're doing a little bit more clearly. So yeah, you just start painting in the river, and for rivers you want to make sure that they don't go too straight, of course. And you might want to consider how deep you want to make them and how steep you want to have the edges of the river. So I'm just gonna lower the edge of the river a little bit, not too much, because I don't want the river to be too broad. But you can see that we're just lowering the river sides a bit, and of course these things can also be altered in game with World Edit or Voxel. What we could create here is some kind of delta area, so we can actually connect these rivers up and make them go further up there. So what I basically want to have is that these rivers come down from that mountain there, and not all of these rivers will be able to add in game. So some of them will have to do with voxel. So I'll be sure to do that on this map before I put it up for download. But you can see that I can paint in these rivers very easily with the brush, with any brush really. And then I'm just gonna have it go over here, and that's where I'm gonna stop, because this is where the landscape goes up, and what I want to have is a couple of rivers coming down from the mountains joining this place. And I actually want to have like a little lake at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do here is just gonna create a lake, and you can see it's basically the way you would create a river, but just larger. I'm just gonna extend it a little bit, and then we'll have ourselves a lake. So that's just a lake at this bottom. Imagine that there would be rivers flowing down from the mountains into the lake, and then out of the lake this river emerges, which flows down into this sort of delta area. We could even expand it a little bit further to here, and then you could have like another river going to this side, which really creates a small delta area down here. And these are not very broad rivers, but also not very small, so if you want to have smaller rivers, I really do encourage you to just make them in game with voxel wool edit or just by hand, because that's a bit more accurate. But you can see that we did create a nice little delta area here, and yeah, that could be very useful in future. So that is everything I had to say about rivers, lakes and water in general, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, share this video with your friends, and look forward to the next World Painter tutorial.